now have a minimum of one trained teacher. The ministry continued teacher training at other levels too, with a combined 8,000 practitioners at the early childhood, primary and secondary levels receiving professional development training. Over 90 principals were also trained through the National College for Educational Leadership. In the past year, there was a concerted effort by education stakeholders to upgrade or add new spaces to the existing school stock. Ground was broken in June for the construction of the Cedar Grove High School in St. Catherine, which will add 1,200 more secondary school spaces when it's completed in 2013.
The objective is to eliminate the shift system progressively over the next 5 years.
Assessments are also being done to scout locations that could serve as spaces to build schools like the cotton polyester factory in Old Harbor, the jockey factories in Hanover, and the Montpelier School in St. James. Plus,
it is our hope that within 3 years or so we can replace those rudimentary sanitary facilities in the over 200 schools in Jamaica that still have pit latrines.
In July, some $182 million was allocated under Phase 1 of the Replacement of Pit Latrines in Schools project to help eliminate pit latrines in at least 26 schools across the island. The Jamaica Social Investment Fund and the Chase Fund are partnering with the Education Ministry on this venture. Curriculum development was not to be left out of the ministry's work in the past year. At the start of the 2012-2013 academic year, a revised civics curriculum was introduced in schools island-wide. Under this initiative, the teachings of Marcus Garvey became mandatory within its syllabus.
We recognize that the objective of our education system cannot only be to have students who are getting 8 and 10 subjects at CSEC, but we want students who are conscious of themselves, who know their place of dignity, of worth, who understand their rights and their responsibilities as citizens of Jamaica.
Meanwhile, in response to findings from the Grade 6 Achievement Test GSAT Review Committee, changes are to be made to the content in social studies and science. These will be implemented in the 2014 sitting of the examination. Results from the 2012 sitting of the Grade 4 Literacy Test showed a 3% increase in mastery levels compared to 2011 for both public and private schools. In numeracy, the mastery level in public schools improved to 53% from the previous 46%, and all schools improved from 49.2% to 54.3%. To ramp up these numbers, throughout the year at least 173 newly qualified teachers, inclusive of teacher assistants, special educators, and student support officers, have been placed in the primary school system. At the secondary level, in response to less than acceptable performances by students sitting mathematics and English language, ongoing workshops are being conducted with teachers in at least 135 low-performing schools. Nearing the end of the year, perhaps the most notable initiative in the area of technology in education was launched. Through a partnership with the Jamaica Education Television, JET, and DC Digital, live and on-demand educational content will be provided to 600 schools by 2015. A pilot is to begin this year, where master teachers will broadcast content to the first 110 schools.
We're starting fairly obviously and importantly with mathematics and language studies. Ladies and gentlemen, it is tried to say but important to repeat that we can no longer be complacent with the mediocrity of our results in mathematics and language arts. And particularly at the primary levels, these have got to move in the right direction and very quickly if we are to achieve our 2030 development goals.
The Ask the Minister website and email portal was also launched to give the public access to the Minister of Education. In response to issues with the allocation of funds from the Student Loan Bureau, a committee was established in August to develop strategies and a policy for long-term financing of tertiary education.
The heavy level of delinquency prevents those capital funds, depletes them, and prevents them from revolving to the detriment of newcomers into the loan scheme. Right now,